Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good evening or afternoon. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host on how to fight CPS and stop taking our children. It's a terrible agency CPS is. Very corrupt, and all they do is think about making money. Now, you just heard Vincent Davis, who's my attorney, and he talked about his upcoming podcast tomorrow. He has a podcast tomorrow, questions and answers, that help you in your case. So please register for the Zoom meeting tomorrow, questions and answers. Also, you can join the school if you haven't done so. Now, he said he had 35 years in the business of fighting CPS. He's also a trial attorney. He can do trials. He also has sued CPS on civil lawsuits. When the case is closed, he can do a lawsuit. He's done them both in federal and state courts. And I want to welcome a person who's come into our room. I kind of want to know the name if I could. But it's a question. Now, also like to know the city or the county where you're from, the first name, and the state. The question he put in, if a 14-year-old child is expressing they don't feel safe with the mother, would CPS send the child back? No. In fact, CPS will put the child right away, traffic it right into foster care. I don't know if that's going to be any safer or not. But welcome. Okay, Fred's in California. I'm glad to meet you, Fred, in California. So, if they don't feel safe with their mother, what about the father? Would the child be okay with the father? You really don't want CPS to involve your children. You don't want to be involved in CPS. It's a nightmare. It isn't very friendly. It's a nightmare. Now, I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time and again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They're both shows for 1 hour. Now, there are some exceptions, like today. I've come on 3 hours early because I have a very important football game to go to with my son's school. It's Friday Night Lights, and so they have the playoffs tonight. So I'll be going to the football game right after this show. And so that's why I started the show earlier than 7 o'clock. Now, tomorrow, Vincent is having a podcasts with question and answer session. So I'll move my show to 8 o'clock tomorrow so I don't conflict with his show. And that way people can see my show and his show. And his show's at 10 o'clock tomorrow Pacific Standard Time. Now on Sunday, I do my show at 8 o'clock because I have church on that day. And I want to go to church, so I do a couple hours earlier. So Sunday it's 8 o'clock, Saturday it's 8 o'clock, and tonight it's at 4 o'clock, which is a little bit earlier than you most said. The rest of the week's the same. I'm on, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 14 shows. I've been doing this for over a year, and I've talked to over 600 people, not only in the U.S., but around the world. There's about 14 countries that I've heard from, and the list is growing bigger and bigger. Just recently, South Africa called for the second time. So I've had several calls from there. So I want everybody, that has a CPS question to be helped. I can help you. I'm not an attorney like Mr. Davis, but I have 15 years of experience. I had a real case, and I learned from my case, and I have some rules I'm going to share with you. Some rules that should help you with your case. Now, Fred in California, let me put the first question up. He was asking that if the child is expressing they don't feel safe with the mother, would CPS send the child back? Well, they'll feel safe. They don't, but why involve them with the mother? Why not the father? There's two parents to the child. This is Fred from California. And so his third comment is, her father passed away. I am the stepfather. I'm trying to get guardianship. My court date in March. Well, good luck. Good luck. I'm glad to hear that you're trying to get a guardianship. And apparently it looks like my lens is blurry. I'll see if that's better. Hopefully that is a little bit better. Yeah, that's definitely better. Yeah, it's hard being a stepfather getting guardianship. It's going to be a hard thing, Fred, because they're going to try to give it with family members, and they don't consider a stepfather a family member, which you are. Now, when you were married to the mother, were you divorced? Or when you married the mother, did you have any arrangements with your stepson? What there? Because I can help you out there. I'm trying to understand what your arrangements are with the biological mother. And I assume that's where all the problems exist, is with the biological mother. Anyway, we have our first caller in this morning. First person participating in interacting with this room. Now, the word CPS, some of you may know that it stands for the Child Protection System, is what I call CPS. It's all the entities out there, whether they're called other names, like in Arizona's Department of Children's Services. In Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. Even in California, the two counties, Orange County and LA County, next to each other. In LA County, it's called the Department of Children, Family and Services. In Orange County, it's called the Child Protection Services. So I made it simple. I just call everything Child Protection System. So any one of the names that are being called there, I'm talking about the same thing. And what it is, it's a Congress and mandate that social services be a part of it, would protect children from neglect and abuse. Social workers would protect them. And how they do so is they calls either by laymen or professionals. And then the social worker within 24 hours investigates that and hopefully fairly returns the child to the parents if the child has to be taken. But it seems like in your case, you got a really rough situation there. I don't know what your arrangements are as with the biological mother as far as your arrangements there, but You can get guardianship of your stepson. That's really good. I encourage that. And yeah, you should be able to do that. Now, besides being in this room, that's one way to interact. There are 3 other ways you can interact. Now, while you're in this room, please send me emojis and then check the follow button and the if you want to be notified. Those are the 2 buttons there. Now, the second way is to text a message. All you have to do is text a message with your questions or comments about CPS. All I ask is please show your name, city, or the county. This is your first name, by the way, and the state. Now, if you're from another country, you're probably going to want to add the country's name and their province. They have, instead of states, provinces. So you want to list that. And the rest of it we can take care of. But it will be a great start for you to do so. Now, furthermore, I like to be complete with your CPS case. I like you to be complete with your CPS case. Now, a third way of interacting with this room is you can be a guest on my podcast. Now, be a guest on my podcast is quite simple. You're going to contact my show producer. Her name is Grace, and she will help you get on. She'll give you the link. I broadcast on YouTube. I use the StreamYard as my application. So all I ask you is to pick one of those days. I'm on 7 days a week, 14 shows, twice a day. So you just pick morning or afternoon, and then you just pick the show Monday through Sunday. So that's all you have to do. Everything else is all taken care of. And when you send an email, she'll respond and send you a link back, and that's your link to get on. If you get bumped off, use it again. It's still good. It's still good. Also, try to show as much as you can about your case. Try to be complete with it. Now, her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. Now, 2 of the ways I've told you about, one where you be a guest, and the other one, if you're on my phone, you qualify to talk to Mr. Davis privately for 15 minutes. That's a pretty good effort there. And, he will help and talk to you. That's what the nice thing is, that you have somebody you can reach out to. Somebody. And I really hope that's for the best. I really do. I am a family man. I have 42 years of marriage. I'm not a lawyer. I have 6 children, 3 older ones and 3 younger ones. I too have fought CPS. Now, Fred is talking some more here, so let's catch up with Fred. Fred is saying that that the real dad has passed away, and that the court that he's got there is trying to get guardianship. My court date's in March, so really good luck with it. Really good luck with that. Furthermore, Fred of California says, no, we're still married. Okay. So he and his wife are married, but apparently the mother has made him feel. So you guys if you have a stepchild, I don't know if you, when you got married, you had any adoption of that child. I don't know what the arrangements are because usually they, depending on how bad the case is, it's usually 50-50 where they take away 50 um, square feet of you and um, then get it back there. So now, another message from Fred from California. I don't know what part of California you are. Okay, your stepdaughter's been in a facility for 22 days. Is that because they're trying to determine if she's injured or sick, or why was she put into a facility for 22 days? That's certainly not a nice place to be in there. She should be with her family that she loves. So that may be a mental issue. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, Fred. So if you could tell me what it is, that would help. So you got a big thing on your plate. You got a divorce if you're going to get married, um, unmarried from their wife, and then you're going to have to get the custody battle of the child, and that's going to be a hard one too. Um, if the child is made uncomfortable by the mother, the child does have some determination. Now, the child, I think he said he was 14. So in California, they're emancipated at 12. I know that because my daughter, who was 12 at the time, got emancipated. That means she got divorced from her mom and dad. Yes, she wanted to do all abuse. Now, did they ever think about putting the daughter in with your custody because it could be with relatives? Now, I think a stepfather, I don't know if you have legal rights to or not, but a stepfather is a family member. Now, I think I left off with how to be a guest, and all you need to do is send it to the email grace@vincentwdavis.com. You should become one right away and do that because there's so many ways. Um, well, the fourth way of interacting with this podcast is my number, and I'm going to put that up. I've already talked about being a guest, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the number up as soon as I can find the number. Well, I did have the number. Somehow it disappeared. Well, that's the strange. I'm now missing my number. Oh, so the divorce is already done. She wanted to unleave herself from all the abuse. Okay. So the divorce is done. Who has custody of your son? My stepdaughter wants to live with me too. Okay, so you got two children. You got your stepson and your stepdaughter. What were the custody arrangements at the divorce? What were the custody arrangements? Because that's how you have to follow right now. That's great. Your stepdaughter wants to, and we want to make sure that can happen. Now, for some strange reason, I'm missing my number. So I don't know. Well, this is really strange because I can't seem to find my number there. Well, my phone number has disappeared. Good. The CPS, they'll still continue to investigate the case. The mother, I thought the mother was making the children feel uncomfortable. Boy, the CPS is strange here. What city or county is this, Fred? What city or county is this? Now, my office number, well, shoot, I don't know where it disappeared, but maybe I can create one here. Okay, Oakland and Alameda. Okay, I'm now getting confusing. You have a case in Oakland and Alameda. Okay. There should be only one county that your children in. Are all the children together in foster care? Or are they in different families or relatives? Or what's the arrangements of all the children? I think there's three children. Are there more? Oh, Oakland, California. Okay, that's where Alameda County would be. Um, Now, Fred, who's Don't Complain, has a really tough battle because he's a stepdad to his son. What are your relationship to your daughter? What are your relationship to your daughter? And Alameda County is a bad county up there in Northern California. So you have your hands full there. I can see that. Okay, it's only one child. Okay. You said your daughter wants to live with you, but your son does not want to be with the mother, and you're worried about CPS if they'll take your son. You see, once CPS is notified, they're going to try to take the children from both parents, which is wrong. They should determine the best parent to live with for the time being till the other parent gets help. It should all be about rejuvenation, meaning you're going to come back together after you split the family apart. CPS finds it necessary to do that to stop the ongoing danger. But not all cases are danger, but they seem like it is. And so I'm telling you, you got to be really careful. Very, very careful. Because they are very, very, very corrupt. Now, Fred is saying CPS has been investigating for 22 days. Is that normal? Yeah. They have 24 hours to start the investigation. They can investigate for a couple years. You've been very close to your stepdaughter, so you have your stepson, or not your stepson, but your stepdaughter. Do you have any biological children? Are you a stepfather and a stepdaughter? You've been with your daughter for 14 years. That's how old she probably is. So there is that special bonding that you have with them. Now, I have about 20 minutes left of the show because I'll be leaving here shortly. But I want to make sure we cover our 5 rules. Rule number 1 is get an attorney. You have to have a real attorney. If you try to use a court appointed attorney, you're going to find them that did not work long in CPS matters and have not let their children go, meaning they still want the children still be with you all. Now, Fred has said furthermore, see what Fred said some more here. Her siblings are my biological kids. Okay. So I'm trying to understand that too. That's really complicated. But, long as the CPS involved, it's not going to be good for anybody. They're going to try to have the kids adopted out into foster care. And I don't know how else to emphasize that that's wrong. Now, her siblings are okay. Is that your wife that you're getting a divorce? Are those siblings yours? Are you the biological father? I'm trying to understand you. I think you say you have one daughter and one boy. How many children do you have? What are the sexes? And are you the biological father of all of them? Well, let me see here if I could make that phone number reappear here. Well, let's see here. How do I create a room here? Well, that didn't work. I'll have to get Faye to look into that. If you think foster care is better because they're going to abuse your child, and also they're going to try to adopt your child, and you'll never get custody of them. Further, Fred says, the first boy and girl are my biological kids. The last one is my stepdaughter. Okay. So you got one stepdaughter and a boy and a girl that are biological. So you have 3 children totally. Now, when you got divorced from your wife, what were the custody arrangements of all the children? Did they talk about it? Did they do anything about it? The first boy and girl are my biological kids. The last one was my stepdaughter. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, it's very important that you listen to the end of the show because Vincent will talk about his seminar tomorrow, which will help you in your case. So it's really important you look at her seminar. And excuse me. Let me drink something here. My throat's getting a little scratchy. It's getting close to the end of my podcast. I have about 15 more minutes. You have 50-50 with your biological kids, but not with the stepdaughter. Well, that's sad because you have to get guardianship of her too. So if the children are under the age of 18, you don't need to get guardianship unless they're stepchildren. If they're over 18, you do have to get guardianship, especially if they're special needs. Now, I have 5 rules that I want you to go by that I wish I had known and would help me out my case. My case is awful. The Child Protection Agency harassed me for 5 years, saying false allegations were made by lay people who were actually my wife's mother, father, 3 sisters, and her brother. And they would once a week send in a complaint from Ohio. Ever since I lost my job in 2000, it was 2010, August 2010. And so I know what it is to be lonely and not have that and so forth. And I had to, sell my home to get money too raised up to hire Mr. Davis. So it's been really hard on me. It really is. My family way of life is so messed up. No one gets together, the entire family, for Thanksgiving. It was really bad because my 2 boys went to go see their sister, who was fixing Thanksgiving with the help of her other sister. So it's nightmare with relationships. I don't know how else to explain it to you. It's really, really, really bad. Um, but I'm glad you're talking to me, Fred, and I'm glad you're able to help out a little bit. Now, there are 5 rules that are real important that you need to know about. Rule number 1 was about the attorney. You need to get an attorney. And Vincent Davis is that attorney. In fact, the phone number, if you want to reach him at his office, is 888-888-6582. My office number, I've lost it somewhere, but it's 626 696 0990. Let me double check that. Let me send a message to my show producer. Okay, I sent Grace off the requested and in there. So I have about 10 minutes left before my show will end. Now, I was talking about my 5 rules. Rule number 1 was getting an attorney. There's no question that is so important to have. Because you need someone to defend yourself, because it's like fighting. It's like you're doing open heart surgery, is fighting with CPS. They're corrupt. They're illegally. They do really bad things. They're not your friend. And so I encourage you all to be very, 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 very careful. Now, rule number one is you need that specialized attorney, someone who's trained in dependency law, family, juvenile law. That's the attorney you need. And most attorneys are only trained in legal problems, like your court-appointed attorneys, or your the court-appointed attorneys. They are not trained in family law, or juvenile law, or in dependency law. They're trained in criminal. They're just starting out. This is a beginning job for them. They'll have a caseload of 30 more clients. And that's way too many to have, and try to juggle them and make sure the parents' rights are protected. Because when you get an attorney, it's very important that attorney protects your rights and does things for you. So it's really important there. So don't give up your civil rights. You can always appeal anything that's happened to you. So it's never too late. Never too late there. But if you get a court-appointed attorney, they're not going to fight for your case. You're just wasting your time with them. Yes, they're free, but they're not going to help you get your case resolved because they want to look at the easy way out and so forth. And that's a lot of stress that someone could put there through a 600-member person there. So that's really kind of hard too. Now, the next law is law number 2, and that's your documents. You should try to have a notebook, and you should have a very important page in there, something called the timeline, incident timeline. That's the live incident form where you have people that call in with complaints. They state their name and so forth, but that name is protected. Now what they're saying is that they're going to change that and make it so they have to be accountability to them. But it can be quite tough. It can be quite tough there. Now, that rule number 2 with the notebook, the incident log is so important there. Your first line is going to be the location, the date and time, and who was involved. The second line will be a summary of what the incident's all about. The third line will be the infant Now, rule number 3 is you say no to social workers and police. Do not let them in your house. You need an attorney present. They do not take your children. You do not want them to do that. Also, they have to have a warrant or your permission or extreme danger for them to enter your home or take your children away. Watch out for medical trafficking, where they take them to urgent care and where they also take them to the emergency room. And if they hear something going on, they're going to try to take your children away. So be careful of those individuals. Stay away from extra people that are rounded up in the area. That's really important there. It's been a long day for me. Thanksgiving wasn't much fun, but I hope yours was. I really do. Now, rule number 4 is that you want to have a research done on your CPS case. You want to learn everything is, because you'll find out some information. All you do is you just actually listen and list all the things that you have problems with, and you need to precisely get them to there. That's why you need an attorney. That's why you need an attorney, because Christian is a cost. It will help you so immensely. Now, if you're at your rule number 4, where you're doing research with the internet about your case, it's very important you enter the words correctly. You want to list the city, if it's a small city, list a big city, and then you want to put the state, the letters CPS, and then after that you put what you're looking for. And everything you have is in there, and it'll help you understand. But the agency is so so we got that going there. So rule number 5 is to gather all your important documents, put in an envelope. Your driver's license, birth certificate, your kids' IDs, your driver's license, marriage certificates, the medical reports, the shot records, the grade reports, those kinds of things. You need to hang on to them in an envelope and keep them handy with the notebook. It's really, really important there. Well, I'm going to have to end the podcast here, Fred. I was waiting for you. Oh, Aaron came in. Should I act as my own pro bono lawyer? That's been a question talked about a lot lately, Aaron. I don't know what city or state you are there, but sometimes trying to use a court-appointed attorney doesn't work out because you can't speak. You have to understand, when a lawyer is representing you, you cannot talk to the court. You cannot address the court. And you have to sit back and listen. So you're lucky you can still listen. And with our case, they've quieted it down quite a lot. But I do hope that you'll come back to my show tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It'll be a live podcast at 8 o'clock, and we'll try to cover some more of the same things. I don't know where you're from, Aaron, but I'm so glad you came here. And yes, you can act as your own attorney. It's not recommended because you don't know the court so well. They'll eat you up alive. But it's a lot better than having a court-appointed attorney. Because, they're not going to fight your case. They have a caseload of 15 or 30 cases, and they have like 8 or 9 openings they could help you with. And so and I'm so glad, Aaron, that you came in the room at the last minute there, but I'm so glad. I have no idea where you're from, Aaron, but welcome. Fred did say where he was. His case is really sad because he doesn't get to have all his children, and the mother's taking the children from Fred there. So I want to thank y'all. Vincent Davis is going to play again. And God bless y'all. Keep fighting for your kids. And this is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.